It is Monday, October the 4th, 2021. I am James, you are you. We are here for another breathtaking, thrill-seeking, heart-pumping edition of the show that won't go away. It is At Home with James. You are watching live on your desktop, on your tablet, on your mobile device. Maybe you're using Chromecast and you're watching me on the absolute crispest 1080p on your 4K television set. Welcome to tonight's festivities. This is a show that is going to outdo every show that we've ever done. Is that hyperbolic? Yes. Is it going to happen? Well, probably not. We've had some all-time shows, and I think that this one can climb the ranks into at least the top 50. We're on our way to a milestone. In just a couple episodes, we are going to hit 300 of these things. What began so many months ago in March of 2020 has degenerated, has devolved to this. And what is this? What is it? I will tell you what it is. Tonight is a murderer's row of guests. Much later on in our third segment, it is the one and only Conor Rose. I have not heard from Conor in some time. This guy used to be on this show every week. He'd say I was his best friend. He got dating advice from me, which I don't know if that's a good idea. Now this guy ghosts me all the time. This guy got married and barely talks to me. We're going to catch up with Conor Rose later on. Andy Assaf, another face that we have not seen in some time, is going to be joining us in our second segment. He's got a lot of news, and I hear he's got some ideas on what we can do to enhance and improve the show in the month of October. Speaking of the month of October, right over here, got myself a jack-o'-lantern. Last week, I got a very nasty email from Devin, our production assistant. He called me a son of a B, called me an MFer, he called me an F'er, he called me all of the curse words that you can call someone, said that I need to up my game when it comes to the Halloween content. And that's what we're going to do in just a matter of moments, but I want to ease into it. I don't want to force Halloween on anyone. Everyone knows that I'm not the biggest Halloween head. How do we start? Friday, we had Chalktober, a 1-hour discussion / debate / panel on the best and worst chocolate bars. When you think Halloween, you think chocolate bars. Tonight, we're going to put a twist on something that we've done a couple times over the past year. Cathy Fagan is going to be here. And she is who I would say is maybe the unofficial director of cool on At Home. I thought that I knew cool. I look in the mirror and I thought that I was cool. I'm not convinced that I know what cool is. So Cathy is going to be joining us tonight with a spin on what it really means to be cool. Because it's Halloween, we're going to talk about things that are, quote, scary cool. Now, before we really get into it, and we welcome Cathy to the show, I want to talk about something that's going to happen periodically throughout the night. I have a cup of tea. Now, I don't like to drink on the show. For many, many moons, I would have water, and then when I would watch the episodes back, I didn't like the look of me periodically sipping and drinking water. It felt like a crutch. I replaced that crutch with a pen. I have this pen periodically. I take notes. A lot of the time, I take fake notes on the show. Some people think I have a notepad here with there's nothing. Sometimes I write on my desk or on my hand. More often than I don't. But it's a nice, crispy, chilly night. And I thought, you know what would be nice? Maybe have a cup of tea. I made the tea too close to showtime. So as the night goes on, you might see me taking sips of my cup of tea. If you do, I don't want you to judge me for that. I don't want you to think that I didn't lead you in with any type of disclaimer. You might be thinking, James, why are you talking about this? Why are you letting us know that you're going to be drinking tea? Because if I didn't, I would be hyper aware that I was drinking tea live on the air. And this is the mind of a madman. Anyways, I'm sick of myself. Let's begin the show. Let's welcome our first guest to detail what it means to not only be cool, but be scary cool. She's coming to us live from in front of an abandoned Zellers. It's Cathy Fagan. Cathy, welcome back to the show.
Hello, James.
How's it going?
It's good. I'm feeling chill.
Feeling chill, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, last time you were here, you showed up wearing sunglasses, and tonight you're wearing a different pair of sunglasses. So we all know that sunglasses are cool. Can you tell us a little bit about these sunglasses and where you got them?
Well, James, we both know that I don't wear the same thing twice.
Ever?
Never.
All right.
Got these from my aunt in her purse.
All right. So your aunt had a pair of sunglasses in her purse. Now, would you say that your aunt is cool?
Mm. She's making her way up there. She just retired recently. Retirement can be cool. Depends on what you do with your retirement time, but she's kicking.
All right. So now I would say that it's fair to say that working is pretty uncool and that not working is pretty cool.
That's correct, James. I've taught you well.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Right now, Cathy, before we get into it, I wanted to talk to you about something that we have casually exchanged opinions on in the past, and that's energy drinks. Now, you're known to enjoy an energy drink just as much as the next person, maybe named James. So could you tell us which you would say are some of the coolest energy drinks?
I think Monster Energy probably takes the cake over all else, but we talked a little bit about Guru. Haven't had that one yet, James, but you've given me enough to go on, and I'll give it a shot.
Maybe okay, now when you mention Monster, the original flavor is some of the variants, the blue can, the yellow can, the white can.
We're talking white can, 7 a.m. white can.
So you're thinking about cracking open a 7 a.m. Monster.
That's right, James.
All right. So not only have you come here to teach me about what it means to be cool, on some level, it sounds like I've kind of floated some cool ideas your way by way of some energy drink brands.
Not cool to take credit for that, James.
All right. Hold on. I'm going to take a fake note here and remind myself of that in the future. Well, Cathy, usually when you're here, you talk about things that are cool, but tonight, as I mentioned, there's a variation on this because it is, quote, spooky season. Halloween is on the way. You've got some ideas and items that you would define as scary cool. Now, can you tell us what it means to be scary cool and how that differs? Was that some Banaka? Okay, so Febreze. Let's do a little tangent here. Is Febreze cool?
Yeah, it is.
Well, right, like bad smells are pretty uncool, right?
Bad breath's not very cool.
Okay, so are you saying that you've got bad breath right now and you did a little spritz of Febreze, generally known as a carpet and material cleaner?
Not anymore. My breath smells like lavender.
Now, what did it smell like prior?
I had lentil stew for supper.
A lentil stew, not even a soup, but a stew.
Yeah.
All right. Can you tell us what it means to be scary cool and how that differs from regular cool?
We talked a little bit last time about the word extreme, and
yes, we did.
You put a little twist on the word extreme. I'd say that scary is pretty up there in intensity. So scary cool, it's Halloween based, and we can talk about a few spooky things.
All right. Now, before we get into it, you're getting real close there, Cathy. Would you say that you're a Halloween fan?
Sure.
All right. Do you plan on getting dressed up this year?
I get dressed up every day, James. What do you mean?
Okay, well, I guess what I mean when I ask that question of are you getting dressed up is will you be wearing a Halloween costume?
I don't know. I'll pick out my outfit the night before, probably. No sooner, no later.
Okay, so again, an outfit or a costume?
A costume, maybe.
All right.
We'll see. I don't know.
Have you had any success with costumes in the past? Any memorable Halloween costumes that you've donned in prior Halloweens?
1 year I went as a fork in the road.
Okay, one of those clever costumes.
Yeah, it's pretty clever.
All right, well, we'll move on from that. Let's start analyzing what it really means to be scary cool. Now, Cathy, you always bring some photographic evidence. So would you like to tee up the first image that you want to provide as an example of scary cool? Anytime now.
Am I supposed to be the one to share this?
Well, I just looking for you to tee it up. So we've got our production assistants. Our production assistants, they're gonna show the pictures. You're gonna tee it up.
All right,
for
we're
us.
ready. We're ready.
We're okay. You're teeing it up for us. Okay. So the first image is available. Okay, so yeah. Take us through. So you got this image courtesy of Getty Images. So what's really scary cool about a couple people? It looks like they're coworkers having lunch. Take us through this, Cathy.
So I think that the first point I want to make before we get too heavy on the Halloween, going off topic is a little cool.
Okay.
What I like about this photo is it's really fun coworkers all being happy together. Do you know what really affects the rapport and vibe in any office lunch room?
Well, I guess I would say like maybe some stimulating conversation, but again, I'm no expert. You tell me.
Provided lunches, James.
Okay, so you're saying when an office or a business provides a paid lunch for an employee or a variety of employees, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool when you get snacks at work, yeah.
All right, so can I ask you, is it limited to just work, or what if like a friend buys you lunch or dinner or breakfast? Is that cool?
That's pretty cool for your friend, but it's not cool at the company.
Okay, so it's really cool at work when work buys you a meal.
Mhm.
All right, so yeah, as you mentioned, this is off topic. This is unrelated to being Halloween based, but we're starting things off separate from Halloween. This is just regular cool, not scary cool.
Pretty scary cool if you ask me.
Okay, so when your employers buy you food, it's scary cool.
That's right, James.
All right, awesome. Cathy, you want to tee up our next image, which means you're going to talk about it and our production assistants are going to bring it up.
Hit me.
All right, hit me. All right, great. So we've got our next image here.
We're talking high effort costumes, James.
Okay, so this sounds similar to kind of your fork in the road. This looks like a snake charmer, and this is a bit of a cheeky costume, Cathy, where the snake is coming from outside the front of this man's trousers.
Yeah, this is just one example of many. Jay Voorhees 88 said snake wiener. That's maybe what some of us would call that costume.
What would you call it?
I'd call it cool.
All right, so you would call it cool. Now, can I ask you, Cathy, this is one of those very like a little bit, it's a bit of a sultry costume. How do you feel with the like kind of the craze of sexy Halloween costumes?
I think that doing what you want to do is really cool, but sexy Halloween costumes are still pretty cool.
Okay, so sexy Halloween costumes are cool and doing what you want to do is cool. You're very close, Cathy. Very close. Okay, so you think that putting a lot of effort into a Halloween costume is very cool?
Sometimes.
Now, okay, so sometimes would you wear this snake charmer costume? Would you wear this one this Halloween season?
I don't know, James. I don't decide till the night of.
All right, so it's possible that you could decide the night of Halloween to wear this costume.
Right.
All right, so once again, scary cool. Cathy, how about you tee up the next image?
Hit me.
All right, hit me. Okay, well, this is a pretty interesting one. This looks like a busy gas station. So, Cathy, take us through what makes this scary cool.
I'll give you a little bit of context.
Please, I'm going to need it.
You're 12. You're 12 years old. And it's Halloween, and you're going house to house. Everybody lives 2 kilometers apart because you're growing up in rural Newfoundland. You hit up the local Irving. They give out full chocolate bars. That's what makes Irving cool.
All right, so this sounds like a story from your younger years. when you were a youngster, this gas station brand Irving would give out full chocolate bar. Those are truly aunt sunglasses, by the way, Cathy. So you get full bars at this Irving gas station.
I don't talk about my past.
All right, so this is maybe the past of someone who grew up near or around you.
That's right.
Well, let me hit you with this little story, Cathy. How about this? When I was growing up, I will tell you about my past in small town Quebec. There was a casse-croûte, otherwise known for people who don't know as kind of like a cabin-like diner that would sell hot dogs and poutine and things like that. On Halloween night, it was their last night of operation. They would give out free hot dogs. Is that cool?
Giving out free hot dogs is cool. Taking a free hot dog ain't cool.
Taking the free hot dog isn't cool, but giving them out is cool. All right, you heard it here first. Cathy, how about you tee up our next image?
Hit me.
Okay, so this looks like kind of the absolute opposite of what we saw with the snake charmer costume. This looks like a low effort costume.
Yeah, sometimes low effort costumes are cool, James. Depends on the person, depends on the day.
Okay, so this costume says nudist on strike. So it's just a person wearing clothes. So it's kind of it's another version of a clever costume.
But for people who are too cool.
Okay, so Halloween. A low effort costume is too cool.
For some people.
Okay, well, Cathy, can I tell you another story and hopefully you can decide whether or not it's cool?
Hit me.
I have a friend who for years, he would throw a Halloween party, and on the Facebook event page or email thread, he would put a list of rules in the party of you have to have a costume that is this, you have to do this. And one year in protest, I went as the list of rules to mock the rules because I don't think parties should have rules. Now, is a party with rules, is that cool?
Only if there's one rule.
What's the rule?
There are no rules.
Awesome. Now, how do you feel about my costume as the list of rules?
I gotta say, James, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Maybe what I'll do is still bad breath, huh, Cathy?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Thanks to the Febreze. So maybe I'll show the picture next time to really prove that I've got what it takes to hang in there with the coolest of the cool.
I would love to see it, James.
All right. So, Cathy, how about you tee up our next image?
Hit me.
Now, at the beginning of the show, I said this could really fight for a spot as one of the all-time episodes. I'm now taking that back. That statement is now redacted, and I am I'm going to scrub it from the post-production. So Cathy, look, I'm going to reveal something about this show. I had access to these photos prior to going on air, but I don't look at the photos until we're on air. You sent all of these images in an email, and the file name for this one is prank.png. So not only is this a PNG file, this is a toilet seat. It looks like the image is now off the screen. So I'm getting a production note that we're not sure we can air this image. So for those of you who missed it, this is a toilet seat. Oh, apparently the image is now back because we've got Cathy, you mentioned this is not, you said this is not real feces. Now, Cathy, just you didn't take this photo, did you? Okay, Cathy,
no.
We have to talk about this. Can you tell me what did you search to find this photo?
Didn't have to search much, James. I just had to search most elaborate pranks of all time.
Okay, so you did a Google image search, and this apparently is one of the, quote, most elaborate pranks of all time. So this looks like fake poop on a toilet seat. It's kind of everywhere. The toilet seat, the bowl, it looks like it's hovering around the drain at the bottom. Cathy, take us through what makes this scary cool.
It's thought of just pranking people in your life. You make them laugh, you play a little prank on them, they go in to sit down in the toilet seat, and it's oopsies. Someone didn't wipe.
And the problem is that they didn't wipe. It's that they didn't flush and they made a mess. The prank is that they didn't wipe. Now, Cathy, I'm not looking for specifics here in terms of this image, but have you ever pulled a Halloween prank?
Maybe once or twice.
Maybe once or twice. So maybe toilet paper in a tree. Did you ever egg a house? Were you kind of a bit of a youngster full of mischief?
I did egg somebody one time.
You egged somebody. Now, was it someone that you liked, or was this kind of a mean prank?
It was just driving around, with our best friend's cool older cousin. Went to the grocery store, bought some eggs, and just whipped them at some random people on the side of the street.
All right, so you're throwing eggs out of a car at people. That's a fun. Now, what would you say? Now, as an older Cathy, what if that happened to you? What if you were the recipient of this egg ambush? Would that be cool?
But I took it in stride, yeah.
Okay, so only if you took it in stride would it make it cool. All right, Cathy. Well, this was pretty scary cool. I would say that maybe 5% of these images had to do with Halloween. The snake charmer costume. Now, Cathy, before we let you go, and if we don't talk to you before Halloween, do you have any messages for the people that are planning on celebrating this witchy time of year? Any Halloween messages you want to send out?
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. Well, Cathy, look, before you got on the air, that you said you were watching The People versus Larry Flint with your aunt. So we're going to let you go so you can return to watching that classic movie. Just out of curiosity, how did you decide to watch that film of all the movies?
My aunt wanted to watch something on Netflix that was an award-winning movie, and that's how we chose that. And we learned about 10 minutes in that it was about the porn industry.
Yeah. Well, maybe next time you can come give us a review of The People versus Larry Flint. And I've also noticed that you've removed your sunglasses.
It's because I'm feeling vulnerable.
All right. Well, I'm sorry for making that happen. Cathy, I'm going to let you go and wish you happy movie watching. Peace. That was Cathy Fagan. She was here to let us know things that are scary cool this Halloween season. So I had mentioned that throughout the month of October, it's going to be our Halloween month of content. In terms of Halloween content, on a scale of 1 to 10 Jameses, 1 being the least amount of Jameses, 10 being the most, that was probably a 1 on 10. But who knows? Maybe we're going to find some Halloween content in our next segment. So let's welcome him back. He has not been here in some time. He is the one. He's the only. He's a true hero of this show. It's Andy Assaf. Andy, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, James. How's it going, man?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
Good, man. I'm sorry I fell off the radar recently. I haven't been on the show in a while. I haven't responded to your texts.
And your calls. You've been ghosting me a little bit too. I'm starting to worry.
It wasn't just you. Everyone was asking me where I went, what I was doing. If I was okay, if I was alive. But I'm fine. I'm just doing a thing. So, but it's good to be back on the show, man. It's good to be doing the show. And,
it's good to have you back. I'm curious about your location right now. It looks like you're maybe at some type of cult meeting.
No, James. It's not none of that. If anyone's familiar, I'm doing what's called a Squid Game. James, this is a new. You might have seen it on Netflix. There's like a trailer for it. I watched the trailer. I didn't really get too far into it. I just was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And then I met this nice gentleman in a subway station, and he offered to play like this weird game, and if I won it, he'd give me some Korean currency, the won, and he kept saying 10,000 won. That sounded like a lot, so I said okay, but if I lost, he'd slap me. And so after
this all sounds a little nefarious, Andy.
No, it's totally above board. This guy was wearing a suit. He was really clean cut, looked like a good guy. And anyways, I lost a couple times. He slapped me a couple times. I then won once, and so I got the 10,000 won, which I have yet to convert it to Canadian dollars. But anyways, he gave me this business card, and I called this number. They picked me up in a van. Next thing I know, I'm knocked out. All right, get this. I wake up in this huge place. There's like 400 something of us here. They're about to announce what we're going to do. We're playing some sort of game, James. So yeah, we're playing some sort of game for like a lot of, again, Korean won. So that's exciting. So I could win a lot of money, James. And it seems like
okay. So
upside.
this is
new clothes.
Yeah, this is where you've been. You're part of a Squid Game.
Yeah.
You're at this compound. You've been issued a number, and your number is 069.
Yeah, totally.
Which
out of 400,
which works well because you've been on record as being a fan of that sexual position.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. You know, there's a couple of us here. You know, some people have, six. Well, we're not up to 666. That would be cool. That would be the only number that I'd prefer. But we're about 400 something. They say they're going to take us in, and we're going to play some sort of game. And if we win, we move on to the next round. There's like 6 games. I don't know what happens if you lose. I imagine we just go home and we hang out. But some really cool people here. Met some really cool people. Everyone's a little disoriented again. I'm not sure what happened between them picking me up in the van and me waking up here. There's all these bunk beds. Yeah, it's going to be fun, James. I'm excited to report back afterwards and see what happens.
Well, coming in from the chat right now, courtesy of our friend Naive Adventures, quote, here's the thing. I started watching the show with my 8-year-old nephew before realizing that MA means mature audiences. So Andy, this sounds like it's maybe not for me.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't watched the show. I watched a bit of the trailer. It looked pretty cool. A lot of colorful outfits.
All right.
These cool guys with like PlayStation symbols on their faces.
Yeah.
So it's like a fun game. I guess maybe a kid can watch it, but it probably because there's one like the one number. This number is in the show and might appear on screen at some point. That's probably why it's a mature audience thing. Again, I don't know what happens in the show, but I'm here and we're gonna find out what happens in real life. Tell you that much.
All right, so that's why you've been indisposed. You're part of a Squid Game. Well, I'm happy to have you back, Andy.
It's good they let me bring my whole setup here so I could actually
well, you know what? That is very kind of them.
Twitch stream, so no one else has anything. It's just literally they took our phone, our keys, everything, like identifying, cards, IDs is what you call them. So
well, I will tell you what, it's good that we've got you back in October, and this sounds like you're living a very frightening existence right now, but who am I to judge? I'm just happy to have you back. October's a fun month for us on the show. We are amplifying the Halloween goodness as to what's going on. So once again, it's good to have you back.
Yeah, James, I saw you did an episode last week, and I was so bummed I missed Chalktober.
Yeah, Chalktober. We began the month of October talking about the candy that's most synonymous with the month of October, chocolate. Yeah.
And it kind of gave me some, I'm sad I missed that chat. I probably would have gone behind Reese's peanut butter cups, the best chocolate peanut butter combination. I think it makes chocolate better than any chocolate, but I'm not one. Look, I wasn't part of that conversation. I get it, but I actually came up with a couple ideas of different October themed episodes we could do.
Okay, it's things that kind of fall in line with October.
Yeah, and I made a little short list maybe of different things we could talk about on those episodes. So I just want to pitch them at you before they call me in for this game. I want to pitch them at you and see what you think. What
okay, yeah, that sounds fun, right?
Okay, all right, here we go. I got a list right here. So, okay, first one. Okay, I think you'll like this one. It's Rocktober, baby.
Rocktober. Take us through what Rocktober means.
We're talking about the spookiest bands in rock and roll music. Right. So here, let's go to my short list right here. I have a short list for you. If you look on screen, you should.
This is the spookiest of all the bands.
Yeah. So this is again, no particular order. I just think honorable mentions. We definitely would have to talk about you know, the Devil Cats themselves, right? Kiss, you know, Detroit Rock
Sure.
City, baby. They're
Yeah.
pretty spooky. I mean, look at that makeup. You know, a lot of these guys, you wouldn't want to be in an alleyway with one of these guys. You know what I mean?
Well, they sometimes were referred to as knights in Satan's service.
Yeah. So that I did not know that. So that even
But
just adds to it.
they also recorded a disco song. So
Okay, that's not too spooky. That's kind of that's kind of a bit wimpy, right? But Wimptober wasn't on the list. That could be that's a whole other episode we have to do about the
mhm.
greatest wimps in rock and roll. But no, I just think you know
Now
Kiss
that is a great idea.
greatest wimps, but
Rock and roll's greatest wimps.
but
Yeah, let
we
me take a
didn't we
fake
didn't
note
I
here.
couldn't fit that into the October pun. So
Look, I love the idea of Rocktober. Spooky acts, right? You can maybe you have maybe a Slipknot in there, Wizard. There's a variety of acts.
but I think Kiss really kind of shines above a lot of these bands because even though they're not the heaviest music, you know, they're not like Norwegian death metal. They did do the spookiest thing of all, which is merchandising, right?
Yeah, yeah, you know, and they also had the song Christine 16,
Which
which has some that you know that's those are some pretty
horrifying.
spooky lyrics in there when Gene Simmons like when I saw you leaving school I knew I've got to have her. Yes, I've got to have her.
I met Gene Simmons once. I told you this story, right, James?
No.
Yeah. So I almost got beat up by James, Freudian slip there. Gene Simmons's daughter's bodyguard because I accidentally took a photo of her. I was filming an event. I was hired.
Yeah,
to
you
film
saw
this
her
event.
leaving school and you thought I've got to have her.
And
Yes, I've
and
got
she
to
was
have
16. So no, she was of age because she was manning a bar that I was shooting an event at,
her. Mhm.
and I was just getting some B-roll of like a bartender pouring a drink. It happened to be Gene Simmons' daughter. I didn't even know she was filming
Yeah.
a spin-off series to Family Jewels in Whistler. This was in Whistler, Whistler, BC, and they're filming a spin-off series where she's like a cool bartender in Whistler.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that. So the bouncer came up, or her security team came up and said,
Yeah.
if you film her again, we're gonna break your camera. And then
Okay,
moments
so
later, Gene Simmons walks in, and he takes
Yeah.
a picture with me. He's really nice, actually.
Okay, so yeah, that's kind of spooky, right? Now, also a great picture of Kiss. So yeah, they've known to have spooky lyrics like quote, she's been around, but she's young and clean. All right, so we can put October as one of our possibilities.
Yeah. So wait, I got a couple other honorable mentions. Of course,
Okay.
we got My Chemical Romance. Look at those spooky outfits. They kind of look like
Yeah.
zombie, marching band members.
Yeah, well, this band sucks.
Okay, well, we're not really talking about whether the music's good. I'm just talking about who is the spookiest in.
Well,
rock
do
and
you
roll.
have Ozzy on this list, or he bit a bat?
I mean, yeah, I guess that's kind of spooky, but it feels a little tongue in cheek. These guys really went for this look. I mean, look.
Yeah,
at these guys.
yeah, they really went for the look.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, okay, and then finally, my last honorable mention would have to be the Monster Mash guy.
Oh, Bobby Boris Pickett.
You see, I didn't bother Googling the name. I just typed in Monster Mash guy and found this image. So
All right,
that
so
would be
this
Rocktober
is
for me.
Bobby Boris Pickett. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's pretty weird name, right? Pretty creepy name. Of course, Monster Mash. I think it's an honorable mention because Monster Mash. What other holiday has a song other than Christmas? Let's take Christmas out of here because there's tons of Christmas music, but
Yeah.
a singular song for a singular holiday, right?
Sure. Well, that's part of
Monster
that song. The Monster Mash is part of an entire album.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
think I have to go. I didn't. I thought he just made the one song.
Well, and the thing that's interesting is that the song "The Monster Mash" it's a song about the song. It's this band
Right.
getting together to play the song "The Monster Mash."
Right, which I think is a pretty spooky concept, right?
Yeah. But you know what else is pretty spooky?
What's that?
Kiss's problematic lyrics.
You want to hit us with one more? I feel like you have one more in the barrel.
No, I think we can move on
Okay,
from there.
okay,
So yeah,
so
Rocktober, that's not
Rocktober.
bad.
Not bad, right? That was a first draft. I think this one you're gonna really like, James. This will reach out to some younger fans, especially here on Twitch. I think me and Raquel came on and did something similar, but I'm talking about TikToktober. That's
Oh.
a fun name, right? We
Yeah.
feature some spooky TikToks, and I actually did pull up one just for you, James. I just
Okay.
have
Yeah.
one.
Let's.
So don't worry, you don't have to sift through thousands of hot
Yeah. It's no.
thoughts on the TikTok.
What's that now?
Hot thoughts on the TikTok.
Hot thoughts? What's
Yeah.
that like? Where you're thinking about someone sexually?
No, so a thought, a THOT, it's a slang for a hot person on social media. You're being a real
Okay.
thought right now, James, by hosting this show and showing
Well, thank you.
way too much neck. Okay, so here, content warning, guys. If you don't like sick abs, don't look. But this might be a little
yeah.
delayed.
This is also a trigger warning for people that wish they had abs.
This might be a little delayed for you, James. So you'll probably hear it and then see it after.
There's no problem there. So
Okay.
yeah, Andy, tee it up for us.
So here's tee it up. All right, fire. So this is one of the spookiest TikToks I found. So let's just watch.
And if you want to use me, I could be your puppet.
Cause I'm the devil, researching for redemption.
So what did you think of that, James?
I wouldn't say that it's spooky as much as it was fast and annoying.
I mean, that's mostly what TikToks are on that.
Well, I'm not actually on TikTok.
Well, you should get on,
I'm
James.
34.
I think we should get you a TikTok. I think we should put clips of this show on TikTok, maybe us watching TikToks on TikTok, so that people can come on and be like, look at this 34-year-old. Okay, so that would be TikToktober, right?
All right, okay.
I have a couple like other ideas I threw out there. I don't know what we do with them. I don't really have any like lists for them. Just here's some ones. So Croctober. So
Croctober, I'm going to assume this is an episode dedicated to the footwear.
So this is what I thought you would think, right? But I'm thinking we go bigger, right? Sure, we can get you a pair of Crocs. They're very comfortable footwear. But Croctober could be like our Shark Week, right? We just
so we have a crocodile night?
a crocodile month, James. We do a whole month dedicated to crocodile shows. We just like feature crocodile experts, maybe do crocodile stories, maybe we do some crocodile attack reenactments. Crocodiles are some of the coolest animals you can think of. So why not dedicate a whole month of shows to it?
All right, so that's one idea, Croctober.
This one, I don't know what I really meant by it, but it was Knockers Knocktober.
You write this one while you were drinking?
I think I was trying to fit it into the pun, but I think it's...
Okay, well, Knocktober sounds like, was this an episode dedicated to breasts?
Well, no, Knocktober sounds more like we're talking about like different creatures that are nocturnal, right?
Oh, I understand.
Like I think crocodiles might actually be nocturnal. I would have to look that up later. Okay, anyways, that's one idea. Here's one of my favorites, Glocktober.
What's that now?
Glocktober.
Glocktober?
Yeah, we can get the NRA to like maybe sponsor it.
So this is an all gun episode of the show.
Yeah, we get like some of our friends who have gun collections, maybe they do like they put their guns out on their bed and then take like a picture, like they do with like camera gear, but with guns, like gun.
Yeah. So basically someone lays out all of their guns on their bed.
Yeah. I don't know about the Twitch rules, whether you could show guns, but it could be cool. I mean, I don't know, James. Could be cool to do a gun episode. Okay, let's go to this last idea, which I do have some honorable mentions for, because I do think this might be a solid one.
Yep.
It's Cocktober. James,
all right, tell me more.
Yeah, so it's Cocktober.
Yeah, no, I picked it up. I heard it.
So I know what you're thinking, James. Like,
what could I
Andy,
possibly be thinking about that episode?
You're like, this is you saying, Andy, we're not going to do a whole episode dedicated to roosters and chickens and them fighting each other. No, this is about the spookiest appearances of the male genitalia in film and TV. What do you think?
Okay, so anytime in film when a penis presents itself, that's going to be part of this episode.
Because look,
you know what? I'm just appreciative that you didn't want a month-long series of this.
Well, I think Knockers Knocktober, a little gross for a couple of guys to be like, hey, let's rate some knockers on the show, right? But Cocktober,
I agree.
We, as men, I think we can confidently and authoritatively speak about penises, and we don't see enough penises on screen.
All right, so you think that movies, so this has nothing really to do with Halloween. You just want to empower the idea of more male
Yeah.
genitals being shown in movies.
Yeah, it's more of a kind of like a cultural statement more than we're making than the actual list, you know? Like,
Yeah.
look, we can rate penises all day, James. I know we'd be great at that. But I think it's more about sending a message, which is, hey, maybe we show some junk on screen. I think everyone would be richer because of it.
And then after that episode ends, we say, come back on Wednesday for Glocktober, where we're showing off everyone's gun collection sprawled along their duvet.
We're bringing back the golden era of like Spike TV, you know, where it was just like the Guys' Choice Awards. There was like the Man Show, Keys to the VIPs, you know, quality entertainment for everyone, really.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are some honorable mentions for Cocktober. Of course, the godfather of them all. You know, he's not really in any mainstream films, but Ron Jeremy, of course, we'd have to mention him.
Well, I think he's also he's pretty disgraced at the moment.
Oh, is he?
He's very
That
disgraced.
probably
He's
explains why-
he's on his way to prison.
Oh, I have not been following Ron Jeremy at all lately. I do realize now.
Might have to give him a dishonorable
That's
mention.
probably why when I Googled him, the first few he was in an orange jumpsuit. Now that makes sense. So this is probably in bad taste, and I apologize. Okay, moving on.
Wait, hold on. You've got his picture on the screen,
okay,
Andy?
well, let's move on to our next pick here for Cocktober. Of course, we have David Fassbender. When he just graced our screens in the Steve McQueen movie Shame. I don't know if you've seen this movie. It's an independent film about a sex addict who's he's obsessed with pornography. He's obsessed with having sex. Really messed up guy. And boom, pops on screen, big man schlong.
All right. Any more honorable mentions?
Okay, and then finally, I think this one is a no-brainer. Anyone who is talking about the subject, this comes up. We got my man, Jason Segel.
Right.
Of course, forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Wait, why is he your man?
I don't know. I just think he's pretty funny.
All right.
I Love You Man's a great movie, but I think Forgetting Sarah Marshall edges it out because guess what? You see his Cocktober on screen.
Yeah. All right. So, well, Andy, look, I like a lot of these ideas. Some of them I'm immediately going to say, I don't think so.
Okay.
So maybe Glocktober, anything to do with your friend Ron Jeremy.
Okay. Well, that one was a misstep, and I admit that. And I sincerely apologize for all Cocktober heads out there. Okay. And we will, Cocktober got off to a rough start. But
wait, you're just decreeing that this is the variant of...
I think this is Cocktober. I think we have a pretty solid claim here. I think it's pretty unanimous in the chat. Everyone's really talking about Janet.
Yeah, unanimous in the chat. What we've got here is Predatober.
Oh, James, I think they're calling us in for a game of some sort.
All right, well, Andy, look, I want to thank you for all the ideas, and I'm going to let you get back to the Squid Game.
Yeah, I got to get back to this Squid Game. I'm really excited to find out what we're going to be doing. And
yeah.
I will report back, maybe for Glocktober.
Report back.
Maybe for TikToktober. Well, stay tuned, folks. We're going to figure out which Tober we're doing.
Andy, good luck in the Squid Game.
Bye, James. Good seeing you.
Good seeing you, too. That's Andy Assaf. He is back on the show, coming to us by way of the Squid Game, and he's also got a lot of ideas what we're going to do in the month of October. I'm only mildly concerned about that. When we talk about the month of October, we can't stop but to talk about October the 6th. We'll be back this coming Wednesday. Who's going to be here? Dave Kaufman and Raquel Belmonte. Let's move on to our final guest of the night. When you want to talk about studs, when you want to talk about a man who's been known to show his genitals, you can't say any of those things without saying this person's name. It's Conor Rose. Hey, Conor. Hey, Conor, am I interrupting you doing some reading on the Dalai Lama?
Yeah, James, I'm just I'm reading The Art of Happiness.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, I was just at the dedication.
The dedication? Oh, you were finishing the book or the beginning of the book?
Oh, I'm just at the beginning. I was just finishing the dedication.
Okay, so you literally just opened up the book.
Yeah.
All right. So, well, Connor, it's been a while since we last spoke to you. Last time you were here, you were working for Dimitri at Marathons. You were a server. I understand things didn't turn out well, but you're back inside now, which is an improvement, I think. What's been going on?
Yeah, James, I'm going through a little bit of a transition in my life.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, that my wife Cordelia got pregnant, and we weren't sure if it was my baby or our roommate and her, who I thought was her cousin, but turned out is not her cousin, Rolf's baby. So I confronted them, and I was like, and this was before I had like come to this new realization that I needed to be a little bit more zen in my life.
Yeah, Connor, are you wearing mittens?
Yeah, James.
All right. Would you like to continue your story?
Sure. Do you wonder why I'm wearing mittens?
I do wonder why you're wearing mittens.
See, James, it's all part of my process to try to soften things in my life right now.
Mhm.
I've been dealing with a lot of angst and a lot of turmoil, and I just felt
Be
like
careful with that fire, okay?
James, only good vibes now, James. Only good vibes.
It seems like you've taken a bit of a spiritual turn in life, Connor. You seem very much at peace, and I'm happy to hear that. You had mentioned that you confronted Cordelia and Rolf. How did that go? Must have been tough.
James, it was really tough, and I came at it from a place of anger and
Can you
destruction.
take us through that? What did you say?
I said, I came into the house, I came off my porch, and I said, "Hey, you two, it's not fair. You need to tell me what's going on here."
And where were they when you were saying this?
They were on the couch together.
Mm-hmm. So you confronted them. Continue. What else did you say?
I said, if my wife is pregnant, then I deserve to know if it's my baby or not. Rolf, I want you to leave.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go? What happened next?
Cordelia, she got up off the couch and she slapped me across the face. And she said, "Connor, get back to your porch." And so I went back to my porch, James, and sorry, I just had to practice some deep breathing.
That's okay. I didn't mean to bring up any skeletons in the closet. But you're back inside now, so it seems like there's been a development, Connor.
Well, the next day I came into my house and they were gone.
They were just gone?
James, I haven't heard from them since.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, Connor. I know that Cordelia meant a lot to you despite her shortcomings.
Yeah, James, it's not an easy thing when the mother of your potential child leaves. You mentioned ghosting earlier this evening, and let me tell you, there's nothing like your wife and her cousin ghosting you.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But at least on the upside, you get to be indoors again.
Yeah, that's true, James.
Now, coming in from the chat right now, this might be a little tough to hear, but I think it's important that you do this from our friend Real Sid Rock. He writes, quote, "Connor, this is an intervention. It's not your baby."
Sid, I appreciate your candor, and I'll just have you know that really it could be. Yes.
So Connor, yeah.
Let me finish, James.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's very possible that the baby is her cousin Rolf's.
we have to specify it's not actually her cousin. That was a lie that they told you. We're not saying that people that are family members have potentially sired a child.
That's right. It's not her cousin. She told me for months and months that it was her cousin. I allowed them to live in the same house. I allowed them to sleep in the same bed, thinking that everything was hunky dory. And now I've realized that that was a grave error, as they are not cousins.
What it feels like if they left together, that might be a message, right? That it seems unlikely that the child is yours. Which is maybe a good thing, right? Is it fair to have a child with such a splintered family and marriage life?
James, coming from someone who was kind of, the odd man out in my family, you're probably right. It's probably not a good idea. But I know that I was making love with my wife up until very shortly before she became pregnant. So,
Yeah.
so there's still a chance.
Can I ask you a personal question, Connor?
Yes, James.
Were you using protection? Were you wearing a condom?
James. No.
All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
No, but we were using protection. She had me. We had our special cup.
Can you explain what this special cup is? And just know that I'm a little worried about this question.
James, don't be worried.
I can't help it. It is October and feels a little scary to me. What do you mean by a special cup?
Our special cup is our protection against dehydration. Every time when we were making love, we had our special cup of water that we would both drink from.
Okay. So your special cup was just a glass of water.
Yeah. We definitely need to protect against dehydration, James.
Yeah, you definitely want to protect against dehydration, not only in the summer, but when you're having a session of vigorous lovemaking.
James, I'm trying to be
I know.
even keeled here, and you're making me feel things.
Okay, well, Connor, look, the fall season is upon us. It's a time for tranquility and peacefulness and relaxation. What else have you been doing to relax and center yourself?
I sit on my yoga pillow every day, and I take my rose quartz stone and I place it on my forehead. I've been doing some deep breathing. I also have you, I don't know if you have seen her before, but I have a new lady in my life.
Oh, really? Now, Connor, I have to say, for someone who first came to us as someone who kind of was a little lovesick, you really know how to find women.
Yeah, James, this one kind of came up. I wasn't really expecting it at all. I know like a lot of people have been telling me about yoga and stretching and like how that helps to calm you. So I kind of looked online and I found this beautiful woman. Her name is Adrienne.
Okay, so you did some research for online yoga. Now, is this a person who they're Montreal based and you go to their studio and you found them by way of the internet?
No, she's not from Montreal. She's from Texas, Austin, Texas.
Okay, so you're talking about the internet yoga practitioner, Adrienne from Yoga with Adrienne.
Yeah.
But you said that you found a new lady. You don't know her.
Oh, James, I don't know her in the traditional sense, but when she's giving her classes and I'm watching her, I know that she's speaking directly to me.
Okay, so well, she's speaking to anyone. What there's many other people watching those videos, Connor. Her videos get millions of views.
Listen, you don't have to be a believer, but I know in my heart when she tells you to find what feels good, I know that she's talking directly to me.
Well, have you sent any emails or maybe a response to any of her videos?
Yeah, like a dozen or so, and
She have an
like,
answer?
well, she's a really busy lady, James, and
Yeah.
I can respect that. So, but I know that she knows who I am.
Okay. Some people might be watching this right now and they might be feeling that you're getting, or maybe rather giving out obsessive fan energy. How would you respond to that?
I'd say
Like,
that
this isn't going to end with you getting arrested, is it?
James, why would I get arrested?
Well, this just feels how these sorts of things start.
Listen, I've sent her a number of packages, a few dozen letters, love letters.
What type of packages?
Oh, like locks in my hair and um, parts of my clothing. Just
Parts of your clothing? What parts?
well, I've stopped wearing pants, James,
Yeah, I've
and
noticed that.
yeah. And so I really have been looking for a use for them. So I've started ripping up pieces and sending her parts of my pants.
You understand this sounds strange, right? That you've been sending your own hair and pieces of your pants to another human being who doesn't know you.
James, again, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on
Feel
the
free
knowing,
to.
because I am almost 65% sure that she knows exactly who I am in the way
Right.
that she looks deep into my eyes when she's telling me to hold a downward dog.
Okay, well, what about this, Connor? What if someone you didn't know sent you pieces of their hair and parts of their pants? You didn't know them, though.
Is it a woman?
Let's say sure.
Hey guys, if anyone wants to send me clothes or pieces of your hair, my address is
Connor, don't give your address out on the air. And for anyone watching, please don't send your hair or clothes to Connor. Well, Connor, look, you know what my big takeaway from this is you're back out there.
Yeah, James, like I just feel like things didn't go as planned, and that can be really frustrating in life,
Yeah.
but there's no sense in dwelling, and it's really important to, find your inner peace. And like I've been really enjoying my job with Dimitri. It's been a,
Yep.
it's been
Well,
a,
you didn't hear what happened. Well, all the restaurants closed.
Oh man, James, I had a shift tomorrow night.
Well, I guess you got a Tuesday off now. But remember, let's keep the positive vibes going. Earlier tonight before the show went on the air, you met Cathy. Cathy was on the show. What did you think about Cathy?
I was gonna say, James, she's one good-looking lady.
All right. Well,
I'd take her to a Zeller's any day.
what does that mean?
I'd spray Febreze in her mouth every
All right,
hour
Connor,
that-
let's take it down a notch. Easy, Tiger. Well, I know that, there's been a real off and on between you and Raquel. Raquel's going to be on the show this Wednesday. How are things going there?
Yeah, James, she's moving to Toronto, and I feel
She
like.
already has moved. She's actually in Toronto now.
Are you serious, James?
Dead serious.
Do you think it would be a good idea for me to go there?
Well, I think you might want to organize it with her. You might want to let her know,
Can I
right?
just show up on her doorstep?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Where does she work?
I don't know. I think what you should do is maybe get in touch and say, hey, Raquel, if it's okay with you, maybe I'll book a plane or a train or a bus and we can hang out. I think that's the way to do it. Maybe don't send her any hair or clothes.
What about toenails?
Nah.
Hey James, speaking of toenails, I'm looking for a new roommate right now.
How was toenails a segue to that?
Oh, in my experience, like the first step to knowing someone you're living with is to, find their toenails in on the floor.
Okay, well, you're looking for a new roommate. What are you looking for in a roommate?
Well, I was thinking like someone like you. Hey
Okay,
James,
so
have you ever lived with a pal before?
I have, yeah. Yeah.
How did you like the experience?
Well, at the time, I enjoyed it. You know, it was a friend of mine who I had known for about 10 years. He had a spare room. I was looking for a place to stay, and it really worked out quite well.
Nice. Hey James,
Yep.
any chance you're looking for a place to stay now?
Well, not exactly. I have a home like this. The show right now, I do it from my home.
Yeah. You know what they say, you don't want to work where you sleep. I was thinking that maybe you could turn your apartment into your studio and you can come live with me. How does it sound?
Okay, so you're suggesting that I turn my home that I'm in right now into a home studio. It's where I keep the work there, but then I live with you. My new home is with you.
Yeah. James, think of all the fun we could have.
Like what?
Like boys' nights. We could watch a hockey game together.
Yeah.
Uh,
What else would happen on boys' night?
well, Andy can come up with some fun new concepts for the show.
Which was your favorite that he came up with?
Uh, Knocktober.
Right. You really like Noctober, the episode about nocturnal animals?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Connor, here's the thing. I'm very flattered that you would give me that invitation, but I really do like my apartment and my neighborhood a lot. But it doesn't mean that I can't come over and visit.
Yeah, or spend the night whenever you want. We could have a pajama party too.
You want to have a pajama party with me?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Well, the only issue is you said you don't wear pants anymore.
James, you should really try it.
So you want me to come over and we sit around without our pants on?
Yeah, I think that's a great bonding activity.
I don't know that I'm totally comfortable with that. I really like wearing clothes.
I'll introduce you to Adrian.
Oh, what does that mean? You're going to send me a YouTube link?
No, you can come and we can all sit you down and introduce you like people introduce people to each other all the time.
Okay, I think I understand what you're getting at. Well, Connor, Halloween's coming up. You have any ideas for your Halloween costume yet?
James, I hadn't really thought about it. Last year I was Dennis the Menace, and that was, that situation really.
What if you went as Adrian from Yoga with Adrian?
You think she'd like that, James?
I mean, anything's possible.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
Now, Connor, did you know that we're going to do another pumpkin carving contest on the show?
Really?
Yeah.
Who are your contestants?
Well, you know that Joe Conto's coming back. Do you remember his pumpkin last year?
No, I think it was kind of underwhelming, if I remember correctly, compared to the winners.
Yeah. Now, Connor, had you put any thought maybe that's something that you'd like to try, being in a pumpkin carving contest? Could you imagine that?
Oh, geez, James, I would just love to have the opportunity, really.
That was a real close call. Well, Connor, maybe we organize that. Maybe we see if you've got what it takes to be in a pumpkin carving contest this year.
James, yeah, how do I apply?
Well, it would be right now.
Okay, here's my application.
Yeah, thanks. Well, Connor, I'll take it into consideration.
I love the way we have that kind of rapport.
Yeah, we're a couple fun guys. Well, Connor, look, I'm going to start wrapping things up. I'm so glad to see you again. I'm really glad that you found spirituality in your life, and I'm just really, really excited for what's to come for you.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Speaking of excitement, James, do you know that I'm almost at 70 followers on Instagram?
Wow, that's very exciting. So how many are you at currently?
69.
Nice. Well, where can people find you on Instagram?
At Coming Up Conor Rose.
And what type of content can people look forward to if they follow you?
I'm pretty active. Like today, I did an Ask Me Anything.
Mhm.
Still waiting for those questions to come in. And I often post pictures of myself. And lots of other fun things. You'll have to follow me to see.
All right. At Coming Up Conor Rose. Con Man, thanks so much for being here, and we'll check in next week, okay?
Okay, James. Thanks so much. Keep my offer in mind about the roommate situation.
I will.
All right, get back to my reading now.
All right. Enjoy the book, Connor. All right. Well, that's Conor Rose, and that was almost an NSFW moment at the end of that segment, and about 3/4 in. Folks, that's our show. I have to thank Conor Rose, Andy Assaf, and all of his suggestions for the month of October. Cathy Fagan for showing us what it truly means to not only be cool, but scary cool. This is what I want to do. I want to make a pledge to the audience. On Wednesday, when I'm doing my opening spiel, as it were, I'm going to try to make it better than tonight's. Can't tell, but I was really hyper analyzing my intro tonight. Didn't love it. But I'm going to do what I can to make improvement after improvement after improvement for your viewing pleasure. Because from me to you, James to the audience, the fan base, the viewers, I have one simple statement that I would like to make. You deserve great intros because I love you. Until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday. I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night. Goodbye. Farewell. And of course, be well.